I recently made a new friend, and as the interesting chapters of one's life are always a surprise, they had a radial arm saw for me and a Delta bench saw or table saw. And well, that's pretty cool, and that's worthy of proper attention. However, I needed to make a cut, and so I figured maybe I should go ahead and just make one cut really quickly on this table saw, because, you know, he said that it was working fine when he put it away. And so I drug it out, I turned it on just to see, and it made some horrible, horrible sounds. And the motor turned on before the blade started spinning. So obviously the belt was bad, and judging by the high-pitched screeching sound, some other things were bad too. It's funny, I just a week ago had to open up this Delta saw, which is about identical, from 1994, I believe. And the one that I just got is from 1987. So I figured, okay, it has a belt, and the belt's probably bad. Okay, the belt is bad. All the teeth wore off of it. And when I took it out, there was some little globs of molten rubber in the housing. You can see there, it says 87. And whenever I turned this, it sounded horrible, like crunching, and it was like, had stiffness to it. So I thought I had to remove this pulley and lubricate the bearings. I proceeded to make this really horrendous hydraulic press thing where it was basically going to use our car jack to press on that center pin using 2 pieces of angle iron to hold it. But unfortunately, I kind of never really appreciated how in Illinois I had access to a lot of old growth lumber, and even the yellow pine was quite strong, so I could just throw something together with deck screws. But out here, all of this wood that we have, it just tore out so much, and so I couldn't get the pulley off because it kept breaking the wood, even with 3-inch deck screws. So after 3 days of banging on this and heating it up and moving it and all that stuff, I decided to give up, because when I brought it back down here to have a think, I gave it a twist, and now it feels perfectly fine. So apparently all of those little bits of rubber and also some other little stuff that fell out must have been what was the cause. But now that I've given it a nice good old shake, it actually seems really nice and smooth, really, really smooth. There was a lot of sawdust inside of the brushes, and there was a lot of sawdust caked in everywhere, but it's perfectly fine. Got it cleaned up, and it'll be nice for a little bit longer. I went to eBay, and I bought a new belt, and it fits perfectly. It was only like 13 bucks. So, and it also looks like it's pretty similar. I wonder what 100XL means. Probably something to do with some specification that I don't know. But now that we have this looking pretty good, now I'm happy to start filming, because I didn't really want to focus on filming whenever I was still figuring stuff out. But now that I look like I know what I'm doing, well, the rest is easy. Okay, that. Then that. So here's how we're looking inside here. I think what we'll do is we'll give this thing a big old shake when I get it outside. And also there is an issue, which I don't plan to fix today, but I hope to get done by the end of the video. This is broken. And so whenever I try to actually flip it, it keeps coming undone. That's the lockout system, if I understand right. I didn't realize until this one that you can actually pull that out to make it so to where you can't turn it on. Oh, it is right. That's quite dirty. And there it's on. Oh, that sticker's almost coming off. It's metal. Now I think an impact driver would probably be best for this, but oh well. Okay, got a little bit tighter. Should be good. Okay. Well, I'd say that's probably good enough. Now, as with most of my tools, I will come back in like 6 months. I probably won't make a video, but I'll come back in 6 months and just inspect everything. Especially because I plan to order a few things to help this. For instance, some of that stuff you can put onto the threads of the adjustment threads. And I hear there's some things you can put on that that doesn't quite attract sawdust, but it works pretty good. It's still lubricating, so I might check that out. This would be an instance where I needed one of those manual impact drivers, but I have one in Illinois. I just don't have it out here, so I don't want to buy another one because I'll end up with 2 of them, but that would have helped. All that sawdust that came out is sticking to the case. Well, this looks pretty healthy actually, and let's go put it back in. Okay. And then we have 2 pins that it sits on to center it, and then we have 1, 2, 3 bolts. This just comes up here, like so. And then I will not get a camera angle of this because even I won't see it. Just do it by feel. Now to find that darn wrench. That bolt head's smaller. Odd, very odd. It appears that the 1987 model has more slop in the junction here. The 1994 model, whenever I put it on, it was very tight, but this one, it could actually rotate a bit. So I had to take care to make sure that it wasn't twisted on this, the bracket. And here's what you're actually dealing with. Even I can't see that. Okay, now, just to run this along here. Into that. Bit tight, but that's also how table saws sometimes sound, so hard to tell. I've had a few table saws reveal themselves to have frozen bearings in them that I only realized after I opened them up. So I would still like to get that pulley off so I can open up that motor and lubricate the bearings, but I think it's okay for now. But later on, when I get access to a hydraulic press again, I'm gonna want to take that pulley off. That way I can just do yearly maintenance on it. Already hot out. It was raining and humid just an hour ago, and now it's already baking. I hate it. Oh, it got me. I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. Wow, so I filmed a little bit, but my camera shut off because I forgot to clear off space on my phone. I should have done that. It's stuff from the Illinois trip. But I had a funny situation. I didn't lose much footage. I just lost like maybe 60 seconds or so. But I got a warning saying that the phone is too hot. So that's just kind of proof that it's a bit too hot out there. At least the warning said that it can't turn on the flash. So I thought that was kind of interesting, that it's actually too hot. So look at that. It's cleaning up quite nice. I'll be able to go over this again and make it look like that as well. And it's not that hard to clean up. I'm really quite pleased. Oh wow, so my phone keeps turning off due to the heat. Okay, then I guess no filming for us right now. I'm just kind of hiding in the basement, cooling off. But I put my phone in the refrigerator, and it still kept having those heat warnings come up, so I had to reset it. So this is one of the issues where, as I've shifted away from doing YouTube videos, I have deadlines because I have customers that want things done, and I shouldn't even be messing with this thing today. I should be welding together a handrail out of steel, but instead I'm still futzing with this damn circular saw, and I can't let it take up too much time because the filming is just taking so much fucking time. So I finished wire wheeling the top of it, and now I'm gonna find a cloth or something, and I'm gonna put some WD-40 on the top because, well, otherwise it's just gonna rust up again. And then I'll put the blade on, and I'll see about processing some of this lumber that's taking up space. See, this is one issue, like filming a YouTube video. You know, now my YouTube videos pay like maybe $2. That's it. $2 for 6 hours of work. But they also don't get seen by many people. And it takes twice as long. And it's fucking hot. Oh, nice. Look at that. Some of this gunk is coming off as well. The WD-40 seems to have helped. WD-40's always been pretty good at getting gunk off, though, so I'm not surprised. straight. I can't complain. Later on, when I'm doing better woodworking, I'll dial it in more, but for now this is fine. Doesn't sound all that bad, actually. Oof. All right. Normally I'd flip it over, but this is pretty gnarly, so. Okay, disappeared. The hell is it? That is so annoying. I'm definitely going to fix that next. And the next thing is to paint this. Time for the grand reveal. This lumber is from 1932 and it's very soft. It was actually a lower quality because, you know, out here on the East Coast is much different than Illinois, because in Illinois in the 1930s, they had hardwood, really hardwood, old growth that hadn't been cut yet. But out here, people have been cutting wood for 200 years, 300 years. And so by the time the 1930s came along, they had the lower quality timber to go through. And things are a lot more, industrialization was a lot more progressed out here. So even the 1930s wood is this softer wood I keep finding, and that's why they went with different dimensions. Because in Illinois, even in the they never had pure dimensional lumber. That myth is a myth out there. Out here, they do actually have real dimensional lumber, but that I think was because they had lower quality wood and they weren't so sure of it. And to make up for that, they went back to larger lumber, at least as far as I can tell, because only the East Coast have I found this full-size timber where it's actually 2 inches by 8 inches. And oh, that's nice. So I'm going to use this stuff for fine woodworking, and I keep finding this stuff. People keep throwing it away. It is absolutely amazing stuff, but boy is it hot out here. I need to go inside. This is going to be my machine for milling this stuff, so I can make cabinets and stuff out of it. I'm very happy with that. The issues with the straightness is to do with the actual warping of the beams themselves. Here's the one piece that I did. These are a bit far eaten up, so it was slim pickings, really. I cut a bit more than I wanted, but I cut about what I had to, honestly, because all the wormholes. These are from a building that had a lot of water damage. But it's funny how you just cut a little bit into the surface of the wood and you get down to actually nice wood. And here I thought I was just wasting my time dragging these beams back. These other ones I'm going to try to skim as entire beams, not cutting down the middle. I just did that for easiness here, but I may have issues. I may not be able to flip it over correctly, and it might not be able to span across the width of these larger beams. So I'll have to see what I want to do with that. Well, finally got it all cleaned up and everything put away, and I really love how this looks. The wood glides over very well. If I had some more Johnson paste wax, if they still made the stuff, I'd put that on it. Oh, fuck. I forgot to move it when I cleaned it. God damn it. Nobody will ever know. So guys, it's been like a whole month, and the table saw has been very useful. And I even figured out where I want to go with it in the future. Firstly, moving it with this just isn't quite working. And I had thought about cutting off this bent section of track. But then it occurred to me, that's basically a handle. And instead of having to deal with that dolly, I could put wheels on it so I can lift it back. And that'd be a lot easier because lifting it that way takes a lot more weight. Then, I've managed to cut quite a bit of lumber with this, and it's cutting really straight. I'm really happy with it. However, I did need to upgrade my abilities a little bit. So I made this, so I can do some cross cuts, or some slide cuts, whatever you'd call them. Now these are made out of these. I got a whole stack of them there, and another stack underneath there. It's this, I don't know, like ABS plastic fiberglass type stuff, that it was one of those things that hangs underneath a desk, and it has a little pad, and your keyboard goes there. It's like a little under the desk keyboard holder. Well, I got a bunch of these that I saved, and I already have my first use for it. So yeah, this was by far the best restoration of a tool that I've done this year. It has unlocked far more potential than I ever hoped. The only thing now is for me to find a few more saw blades. I have lost a few teeth on them, but it all came down to one incident with a particularly thick nail. And it took out, let's see, 4 teeth. But not bad. That's really not bad, especially since I've been managing to clean up a lot of this really old 1930s lumber. And I take out whatever nails I can, but sometimes, like with this, it's hard to see, and it's hard to get in there and get them. So I say at this rate, it seems like I'm gonna basically have a fortune worth of wood milled before this blade dies. But I'm also getting into prototyping, making my own little products. I made this from just some dresser drawers of a dresser that I found on the side of the road. And my real issue is that I'm having difficulty, even with this, cutting really finely. So with this is also going to be upgraded. I'm going to make it to where it has a heavy-duty clamp to really hold it down. And thankfully, it's really, really tight in this direction. So I need to get a blade that has more teeth on it, and then I need a way to clamp this down. And I think I might actually be able to make and sell my own products now. This one tool has helped revolutionize that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching. See ya.